Okay, hi. I think now that we must be live,
Yeah.
I will start by saying hello to everyone and welcome to the talk with Yun Hye, otherwise known also as JJ. My name is Sarai, and today we will be discussing JJ latest film, My Munich, My Very Ordinary Days of 2021, wherein two friends, Hye and Ta, meet again after a while to spend time together. Um, I hear an echo of myself. uh, After a while, to spend time together before Tao's trip to Vietnam, and a sorry, I'm also nervous that it's live.
It's okay. It's okay.
And a move to Japan. Ta is a child of Vietnamese parents who was born and raised in Germany. Hye is from South Korea and came to Germany to study. Besides everyday activities, they exchange ideas about their everyday lives, experiences, identity, and life in Germany versus elsewhere. Over a year later, they meet again, online catching up with one another. Ta plans to go to Europe again. The film follows a journal-like narrative from Hye's perspective, turning Ta into a protagonist of the day. It shows an expert from the lives of a younger generation with an immigrant background who both belong nowhere and somewhere. Oh no, I think maybe we lost JJ. Oh, you were disconnected? Hi. Hello?
Um.
Oh, it's fine, it happens. I'm, but you're back, and it's great, and technical problems are just part of online talks. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was a must-have, and now we can take something off our
Oh fuck. Yeah.
must-haves. Um, I was just saying that the film
Mm.
follows a journal-like narrative from your perspective, turning Ta into a protagonist of the day. It shows an excerpt from the lives of a younger generation with an immigrant background who both belong nowhere and somewhere. Um, in the end of the talk, we will have 10 or 15 minutes for an open discussion for any comments or questions that any of our viewers may have. So, JJ, how are you?
Hi. I'm really good. I just finished my quarantine in London, and because I'm here, you guys can see my dormitories, as we say. I finished my quarantine yesterday, because I'm doing here Erasmus. So I'm here just for 2 months. It's like travel. Um, I feel really better than before. The first week was really horrible, but now it's really nice. Yeah,
That's great.
thank you. Thank you for asking. And you? How are you?
I'm really excited.
Ah!
I mean, you know what I think about the film. I find it really interesting, and I'm so happy and honored that we can have this talk together. Are you
Yeah,
already out of
thank you.
quarantine? Can you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, it's finished yesterday, but we had
Wonderful.
a we had a class meeting, so I couldn't go outside. Even though it's finished. Uh,
Wow, how lovely.
yeah.
So, one of the questions that came to my mind when I was watching the film is I know you, and I was wondering who is Ta, and why did you choose to have this video with him as a fellow protagonist?
Um, I just want to say, Thai is almost my first generation of friends in Germany because I've been here since 2015, and at the time my German was really poor. Now I feel really better in German because I dream in German, but at the time I just try all my best to improve my German skill, and then we met through an app. It called Hello Child. Maybe you heard it before.
No,
It's a
what is
kind of
it?
it called Hello Talk, and then if you download it and then in your smartphone, you can find, how can I say, if you learn Korean as your second language, and then you can choose this Korean, and then the people like it's a kind of tandem partner, like Tinder, but for learning language. And then we met, so he wants to improve his German. He's Korean. I want to improve my German, so we met there. But I realized somehow that I feel really better with her, more than better or comfortable than the other my German friends. And he's a really interesting person himself, but I realized because we could understand our culture, and yeah, and then he inspired me so a lot, and because he's really a wonderful person. He has really wonderful personality, and I thought someday I want to film how we talk, what we thinking, and who we are. Just that. I just want to film it, and then I did it. Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting to learn. It's almost like a prelude or like another layer to the project that you met each other online and then that you have this project during the pandemic and also sometimes online uh, talking
Yeah.
with each other on the film, in the video. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just curious, what month did you move to Germany in 2015?
It's
If you remember, if it comes to mind.
yeah. It's a 28th January.
Yeah,
Why?
because I am also not native to Germany, and it really stays in my mind when I moved to Germany. And for me, it was the 14th of September, 2015. So we have that in
Oh,
common. I didn't know that.
just
But,
1 month. 1 month difference, right?
well, September, um, no, but it's the same year.
September. Okay.
Yeah, maybe I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah.
clearly. But
Then
same year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the title of the film, My Munich, My Very Ordinary Days of 2021, I find it a very interesting choice um, because this visit from Ta feels actually like something extraordinary and not like ordinary days. And, I was wondering, why did you choose that as a title?
I have to say that's a really wonderful question from you. Thank you. I want to say thank you. Because I think this title of my daily documentary film really important because um I thought like, oh, someday I want to film just like how we are. And he said one day in 2019, just like, oh, hey, I'm gonna move to Japan. Bye. I was like, wait. Are you going to move to Japan? Why? He was like, yeah, because I want to work there. And then I was like, okay, then I have to visit you to Munich because we don't have any time. And I was like, can I bring my camera? And then he said, yes, why not? And it was like it started like that, but I tried to um how can I say? I try to make my title by perspective of Ta, not my perspective and not my life, not my choices, because in the film he said once, it's like, yeah, I choose to move to Munich because I want to have more. Want to have beautiful memories in Germany for last time, because I don't know if he has still the same thinking, but at the moment he has no desire or wishes to come back to Germany. It was his last time, and maybe he's come from originally from Dresden, is Germany, and in Berlin he was been in Berlin and moved to Munich. It was like Munich is really biggest typical German city, and I thought maybe he wants to have more than normal daily life or ordinary days. That why he choose to Munich, because he wants to have ordinary days. So I thought like I want to make this title like that. Is it clear?
Yes, absolutely.
It's
Um,
a little bit ironical. Yeah.
yeah. And for me, the title also really works together with this kind of journal-like feeling um, in the narrative as well. I think it's a great title. I was just wondering why. Yeah, and also like because it's so journal-like, it really feels like you've invited me to your personal space, and And I was, what was it like for you to share something as personal as this? Or does it even feel like something private for you?
Actually, our film, my task, our film is a really personal film, I think, because we don't talk about the European politic or Asian politic, like, or debates in the contemporary art. Just, I thought, um, I just want to try to show how just like what we are and who we are, and I try to, of course, really, for example, in the room's footage in the room in dormitory, that footage on our screen, it was kind of, I put my camera on the window because I want to see you there as a um, visitor. I mean, you're not just passive audience. You're sitting there with us, like with a distance in our crisis, um, because your eyes is our camera, just your perspective and thinking way is our cameras. I tried it because I could, of course, holding camera on our during our conversation, but I didn't because I want to give you more place. How can I say, place to sit on, to breathe out, like with us. Yeah, and then it's kind of invitation, I want to say.
Yeah, I really felt what you were saying. Like, I find it very relatable because when I finished watching, I wanted more. I really felt like I had like I was in this kind of social interaction, and after being isolated for so long, it was such a lovely feeling to have this invitation to have this kind of dive into the discussion, and um, yeah, I think it's very beautiful part of the work that really succeeds well in my eyes and for me in my experience of watching it. And in that way, it felt very timely for me. Also, not only this aspect, but the questions of identity that come up and that become more and more relevant today as it's easier for people to travel. Maybe not today as in today, but before the pandemic, as it's easier for people to travel, to live in other places, to raise children there. Um, and this is another personal question. I'm very quiet. Is there a way we can adjust my volume? This is
Hi,
Patricia.
Patricia.
Thank you.
So white noise. Ich weiß nicht, woher das kommt, aber es ist okay. Jetzt
Yeah,
bist
I
du
hear
laut.
the white noise.
Literally, I can't. It's for me. What
Yeah,
the?
I thought it was something with the headphones. All right, thank
Ah,
you,
yeah, I have
Patricia.
also white noise.
I think it's not so bad. Thank you, Patricia. I know that you're watching this.
Thank
Um, so this is another personal question. Please feel free not to answer if you don't want to. But I was wondering, what is it like for you as a person who is traveling, who lives in other places, when people ask where are you from, and do you identify as South Korean or do you see yourself as a third culture person?
Yeah, actually, I moved to Germany 2015. But before, my life is 100% South Korea life. Suddenly I got into a European country, and most, how can I say, Berlin is really international city, I have to say. And actually, I got so many times that who are you and where you come from, and every time when I hear this question, I think it's very nice because the people who ask me that is most of all they want to know me and then know about me, become a friends or just like hang out. I think that's a really nice question, but I say all the time South Korean, but I it sounds a little bit overacting, but I don't think that I'm 100% South Korean culture because I spent my almost most of all 20s in Germany, and it got me changed. I have to say, because if I visit my parents or my friends in South Korea, they told me, "Oh, you're so European. You're you're thinking so different from us." And when I met here, my friends in Germany or like in London here, they told me you're so Asian. I mean, like, I think sometimes belongs to nowhere. Like, even though I have specific hometown, but I don't feel that I can define my by myself in one word. Yeah, it's a I think in these days a really common situation with people who raise up in the overseas or different culture or different looking country, a different looking country. I mean, not a typical looking like Ta like or like me in Germany. Um, yeah. Um, I think I like the question, but I can't define. I can't say that I'm come from there. I'm a purely that person like that because I really changed and I'm mixed. I'm really mixed. How can I say? I'm really mixed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting what you say, that when you come home or visit your family, um, that they feel like you've become more European and that others see you as Asian. Um, yeah, I think that's a kind of defining feature of feeling or identifying as a third culture person. Um,
I think the people can find easily the differences that
yes.
like yeah.
That was so beautiful in the ending then of the video. You actually talk about what brought you together, or about Korean drama as well, and looking at the similarities and this feeling of nostalgia. Um, so you have in your video a mix of different media that gives it a very contemporary feel. Um, Also, the way the sequence of events play before the user, it feels very natural and not performed or artificial at all. Did you know, as you were filming it, how you want it to look like in the end? Or what was the artistic process like when you were editing and also deciding on the idea of the film?
That's a really nice question. Thank you. Because um, sorry, I dropped so much wine.
We had a little glass before the talk. It's true. I still have it next to me.
Sorry. Okay. What was your question? Oh my god. I got you. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, you took me like people.
I was just
um,
asking if you knew when you were filming what you want the film to look like in the end, or what was the artistic process like?
yeah, it was really challenging. Actually, I have to say, before this film, I had all the time just short conceptual video work or performances or installation. But for this film, I decided so spontaneously, like, "Hey, Ta, can I bring my camera?" And then he said, like, "Okay." And then I decide to um, film and shoot the footage without script. And I decide to bring my cameras as much as I can smallest thing. So I bring it the GoPro camera, and because I thought Ta is one of my friends, so best friends, but he's kind of artisan person. He's kind of professional performer. He's kind not a how can I say not an actor. He I think he can't feel comfortable or confident from the biggest professional cameras. If I say like, "Hey Ta, how are you doing? Where are we going?" It's a YouTube. It's a like more artificial way. But I want to try to get rid of my distance my of my camera. So I holding all the time my camera to my body, so close to my body. Therefore, my therefore my audio will have problem. But my footage has a, how can I say, more than without distancing way.
Distancing
Because
way.
yes, and I feel really sometimes being um how can I say, the see the object through the lens. I think sometimes it's really dominant and a really balanced thing, because I decide to how to cut it, how to edit, how to film it. I decide everything. I make that stage. I think sometimes that is really brutal,
Yes.
or that is really dominant way by me. So it's not my style. Actually, I have to say that's not my personality. So I decide film everything what we've done, what we've experienced. So I holding all the time like my camera here,
Yes.
small GoPro like.
Okay. So is that why you decided on a GoPro and not another camera?
Yeah,
Okay, I see. Yeah, it really works. Also, as you were saying, it doesn't feel performed at all. The film, it feels so natural, and I was really wondering how much of this was performed or not. But now I understand um, that it was natural completely and not scripted, and that's also why you chose such a small camera, and it really works that way. Um, and what you also have to say about editing, that it's such a controlling thing. Was Ta a part of the process at all, or how did you approach that, the editing? Yeah.
actually the editing work is 100% my job. But during our footaging, shooting the footage, I asked it directly if you want to make this public in the space, in the internet or some art or film festival. And I said, you can be honest. It's really okay, because you're my protagonist. You're my musee, but I don't want to make you, how can I say, kaput, or I want to respect his lifestyle,
Yes.
his how can he his own decision. And he said, "Oh, that footage I don't want to make public actually." And like he says something about my footage, and I filmed almost 5 days, so I had to decide to show the first day of our footage. Yeah,
Okay, so
it's a
so you actually received from Ta clearly defined borders of what is personal and what can be used. Did you set them also for yourself? And how do you decide what is private and what you want to share?
just like I know Tess personality and Tess story. Uh, I censor by myself. How can I say? I control, like make decision all the time. But and I asked him several times, but I don't know why, but he's like, oh, it's your decision, it's your film, it's okay. But I know that it's not really okay. Is if I make a public and it's a little sensitive themes or like his personal life, I I decide to rather focus on our relationship, on our common things, not his personal life. So
Yes.
it was my first decision. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think what really struck me when I was watching the film was the relationship and the presence that you have with one another. Um, when did you start filming it? Was it before Corona? Um,
It was actually my film is a two stage. How can I say? Two stage, and then the video call is during Corona pandemic. It was January this year, and the original footage that I want to show that was 2019.
okay.
It was before COVID, so people wearing no mask and so freely go outside and
Do you think that obviously the first part where you have the digital call, but um, do you think that working on the film during Corona, kind of seeing this before Corona time, do you think it influenced the video? Like, would you have edited it differently or thought about or approached it differently if you had made it before the pandemic?
I think, of course, it's make really huge difference. But for this film, when I say, actually, my first version of my film was just the footage from Munich, but after finish first version of my film, I decide to make one more video call with Ta because I want to know his recent situation, because he decided to move to Japan, but he is now in Vietnam. He never been in Vietnam by himself alone. It's first time in his life, because of COVID pandemic, the Vietnam government closed the border, and he just was just like that, like, oh, I'm gonna go to Japan, but before Japan, I want to travel to Vietnam by myself for my first time in my life, and he stuck now for 1.5 years. I thought maybe it could change so many things, and therefore I made this video call, and he said he feel really better because he never been there so long time, such a long. He had all the time just vacation, just like hi auntie, and then now Vietnam is his city or his country, and I just want to know how he's feeling now and what it changed, if he's changed or not. Like, yeah.
Would you be willing to maybe give a little preview or a little information on what you're working on now?
I can say that it's a little bit complicated, but because you know that I'm a multimedia artist, that
Yes.
means my make is really, really diverse. How can I say? Today actually is a coincidence. Today I have the other opening show in Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
and thank you so much. But I'm here stuck in my room in my dormitory, but I hope the people enjoy the party. Not a party, but just like conversation. My research work was essay and photography and performance. And this performance and photography is a little bit going with a little under same or similar theme that I started with my plants in my apartment.
Oh, okay.
I I had a performances. I had a performance which I danced with my plants in my apartment. It's because not because uh, so suddenly I realized that my uncle, she's my rubber plants in my apartment in Braunschweig. She's 3 meter low, 3 meter whole, so big is plants. But I realized she's really sick in winter. Somehow I realized she's really sick. She lose all her leaves, and then how can I say that it was it was really horrible. No, I got a panic, or I started research why she's so sick, and then I realized I had a really huge research, and I realized my apartment, and especially our weather in our weather, the weather in Germany is not good for anchor. Um,
Yeah.
the rubber plant, because they come from originally from tropical country, tropical area, more warmer, more humidity, more higher humidity, and I start to that history why she's here with my in my apartment, and it was a kind of colonial story with the that importing history with the elephant, that tropical animals and plants. It's gonna decoration in European country, and how can I say European decoration interior industry. They consuming like that. They consume like that, And I thought that human culture is somehow really brutal. It's a really focus on the human-centered perspective. And so I had a performance that I danced with my uncle, and I report her with a more bigger pot. But in the end, she got a new pot and a new soil, but she has all anyway that limitation. It's that it's just that was my performance, and I show my photography in Berlin that I took a picture of my tomato. Yeah, my tomato. I thought my tomato was died, but in September I realized they had a one last fruit. How can I say
They
it?
had fruit.
Yes, and um, and then if that fruit got become a red, and then they died.
Oh,
Um, I felt it's kind of because that tomato was actually for the field, so it should be 2 or 2 meter, but my tomato was 60 or 50 centimeter because they had a really little soil in my balcony, and I just want to be a witness of these moments that I witnessed. How can I say? They are what I saw. Yes. I made a picture and I show it. Yeah.
is this available to see on your website?
Yes, yes, that is available on my website.
So maybe this would be. By the way, I really like how you talk about your plants as people. It's almost like a remnant of dancing with them and going through this with them. Um, Perhaps this can also be an opportunity to open the discussion. If any of our viewers have comments or questions,
Ah,
please feel free to
right.
ask. I would also like to say that in the video description is your website, also a link to the video that we were speaking about. So I very much recommend if you have some time to take a look at it and to dive into Jojo's work. It's a lovely treat. It was a treat for me, a little break from my own reality. Um, yeah, I think we're in a little bit of a delay on YouTube Live, so perhaps in the meantime you can tell me a little bit on what are your influences, what filmmakers that you enjoy.
I have to say because I want to be really honest with you in this talk. Um,
Please.
I most the thing that mostly inspire me is all the time there's people surrounding me because I have to say there's so many huge so many wonderful artists, but actually to be honest the most influence me or inspire me that is my people surround me like you or like Turit or like my Johannes or my friends. They inspire me and they give so many things they I don't say they give me a critique all the time, but how they think when I observe it, and I think it's a kind of, oh, that's so interesting, and oh, that's so beautiful, or like, oh, that is really awful sometimes like that. And then I think I learn from my people all the time. That is
That's
really
so beautiful. It's kind of
beautiful.
like also from the experience I have with you, it's you're such a present person, and kind of the way that you get inspiration is also a part of that being present. And I think we see this in the work that we discussed on video, um, that it's also on Ta and friend and your surrounding, and also what you just discussed with the plant, that it was looking in your room and it was looking at what's living around you. It's a very beautiful image. So,
Oh, thank you. You're also so interesting person, I have to say.
okay,
We don't have any question,
I
right?
don't see any
Why?
comments or questions, but if nobody, I, I could still ask another question. I have a lot actually. I just,
Someone say just my name and heart. I was like,
yes. Um, maybe because I think we're slowly getting to the end of the talk, we can also talk a little bit about the end of the film, which I thought brought it all together so well. Like it really wrapped it up for me, with the reference to dramatic TV series and then the music that plays. Because it really kind of highlights the gap between reality and the drama and the entertainment that we grow up with, which is really a format of escapism and romanticism. I'm talking at least about the mainstream entertainment. While the view that you give us into your life is a reality of racism and its effects. Uh, we just got a comment from Mutotsuda. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I don't have a question right now, but the talk has been great so far. Thank you. Um, as I was saying, while the view you give us into your life, into the reality of racism and the effects of it, and kind of it really highlights the difference between what we watch and what we experience. And I was wondering, why did you decide on this ending?
I have to say that the K drama and K-pop is a really just pop culture. It's not a reality. I have to say they show the just ideal figure, but for example, I saw many friends in a European country or the other country, they grown up with a K drama or J pop. I mean, Japanese drama, and that they gotta comfort all the time with this drama. But because our reality, I guess I'm assuming that their reality in their childhood, they got bullied, they had no friends because they're Asian, or they had a black, they are black, or like they're not white, and that they got a comfort, and that they is more like, how can I say, observing with this culture, and that the people who I met before, they are all different. And what I want to say, why I decide this ending, was a kind of Ta showed me the V, how can I say, V pop, Vietnam pop music, and which I never tried before. And then because he loves Korean drama, we talk all the time just Korean culture. And then one day he wants to, hey, maybe can you share our V culture? And then I tried at the night. And then I felt I couldn't even understand one word, but I felt our exchange really, how can I say, that makes me really comfort, or they comfort me, that they give me more comfortable feelings, that even though I can't understand this one word. And so I decide our exchanging moment, this should be our ending, like a little bit emotional, but why not?
It was so beautiful. It was really, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it wrapped up a lot for me. It was like the perfect conclusion. Okay, so
Okay,
on this
yeah,
note, I will say um, thank you to everybody who joined us on this talk, and a big thank you, JJ,
thank you, Sarah.
for your time. So I think I will turn off the live stream now, unless you have anything you want to add.
No, it was very great opportunity that I have my conversation with you. It really, how can I say, wrong moment. Is that correct? I don't
Yes,
know, but
Rama.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then I wish everybody a lovely evening, a lovely weekend, and to you also a great time in London. And
Thank
goodbye.
you. Good night. Bye.